Now he's going to go downstairs, down to the white line. They're going to be side by side off turn 4. 14 to go this time at the line.
Well, I told you, Jimmy moved up into Carl's lane. Carl said, I'll just take your lane. Thank you very much. That car is that good right now. He can go where he wants to.
I have no idea who led that lap right there. Looks like Jimmy Johnson did by 3/1000ths of a second.
And there he goes. He'll put the slide job on him off of 2 over there, right up in front of him.
Barely.
Got him.
You're clear.
Jimmy's going to fight back to the inside, but I think it's all in vain.
Come back inside.
Oh, we've seen this movie before several times in Atlanta.
Watch Carl go around the outside here, though. Right in there, he just really gets a heck of a run off the corner.
Side by side for the lead with 13 laps to go. Chevy versus Ford.
Now remember Texas, Jimmy Johnson and Matt Kenseth had a side-by-side duel, and we thought that Kenseth was going to be able to hold him off. Jimmy didn't give up.
And for the people that say all these guys do is points race, I want you to watch what's going on right here, because the difference right there is 15 points between finishing first and second. You can see how loose that 48 car is getting.
Kyle Busch started from pole in a Toyota, and you see they've now led more laps in the first 2.5 races of this year than they led in all of their debut season. Second place Carl Edwards chasing Kyle Busch in the backstretch. Here's Dick Bergman.
Carl Edwards' pre-race strategy was to take it a bit easy on the start of the event, because yesterday in the nationwide race here there were multiple crashes, one of which involved him and took Carl Edwards out of the race while he had a chance to win it. But you know what happens. A race car driver puts a helmet on, and that take it easy stuff forgets.
It's all in the helmet. I'm telling you, these are all normal men out here. They're nice guys all through the week. Sunday they put that helmet on. Look out. Turn into warriors.
As we watch the battle for the lead, Juan Pablo Montoya bounced off the wall in turn 2. He has had trouble at that end of the speedway this weekend in practice. And here comes Edwards on the bottom, fishing for the lead. Close. Close. Not that time.
I think he might have going down into 1.
He should win this battle. But Kyle Busch, he will fight back on the high side. But Carl Edwards right now is just so good getting down to the middle of the corner. But there comes Busch back on the high side.
And you see, that's what makes this kid so exciting. You know, oh, it's early in the race, let him go.
Wild thing.
That's it.
If he can lead every lap of this race, he will.
But while they are doing this side by side, Chris Voti talked to him in the pre-race. Here comes Big Daddy, Jeff Gordon in that 24 car. Jeff Gordon is bailing that thing off into turn 1. The tires are smoking on it right now.
But here comes Busch right back for the lead.
He's lurking back there. He likes this little show he's watching. I don't really like all this side-by-side racing this early. A little dangerous. Looks dangerous to me.
Clint Boyer in the 07 working on Jimmy Johnson for second. Of course, Clint Boyer led 39 laps earlier in this race. I think he'll eventually win this battle.
And something we haven't seen much of the last 2 days here, sunshine on this speedway.
And that definitely will make this track lose some grip. You know, we've not seen the sunshine since we got here on Thursday afternoon. But while these guys, they've been battling side by side for second, we're riding with Tony Stewart. It's pulled him right up to the rear bumper of Clint Boyer.
Now Boyer got a great run off turn 2 despite being on the bottom groove where it's not banked as much as it is in the higher groove grooves of the track.
You mentioned McMurray is behind the wall. They will be back out on the racetrack. They had to do some welding on the frame, and he was also complaining about his throttle sticking, but they will get that 26 car back out there.
Jeff, what does this change in the weather do for your sunny disposition and your plan to adjust on that car late in the race?
Well, the good thing about it is, Mike, it is a concrete racetrack, so the sun doesn't have quite the amount of effect it does on an asphalt track. But this place will still get greasy. As you see right there, Jimmy Johnson kind of slides up the racetrack. So right now, my big focus is still going to be give my car enough forward bite so when he goes right through the center of the turn, he can get back in that throttle and drive up off this turn.
The foursome for the lead in Phoenix.
I love the way this track lays out. It's so unique. It's a 1 mile racetrack, but it's got elevation changes in it, believe it or not.
Side by side for the lead. The kind of racing we've not seen a lot of this season. Here it is.
But we knew when we got here that we would get it. You can see right there, pretty much Kyle Busch in the 18 car, the smoke was how deep he's driving it in the corner, brake smoke.
But this is the kind of racetrack where this car, aerodynamics are not such a big deal. The 1.5 miles is where this car is struggling right now. But these other racetracks that we've been to, Daytona included, this car's been pretty competitive.
See that 48 car getting in the mix there, ran more laps than anybody yesterday. A lot of fingers were being pointed at that car this morning. That would be the car to beat, the 48 Jimmy Johnson.
I think there's a number of cars that were at the top of the board, 48 and the 8, Mark Martin, who's right in behind this little group right here. He was fast in practice yesterday, too.
We know Ryan Newman in the 12 is a great qualifier, the best qualifier in NASCAR over the last couple of years. But are you surprised that nobody's been able to get the lead from him?
Well, he's got the right line, Mike. He's running up a little bit high off the corner.
Half back. Looks like he's looking outside.
And that high line will give you a lot of straightaway speed. Plus, this car needs all the racetrack to be able to pass somebody. Hard to get under somebody and make a pass.
You know, Mark Martin at that 8 car, he told us yesterday he had a car that could win this race. Now, this team, they run the full schedule, but Mark Martin's doing something that's hard to do. Being competitive, running a limited schedule, that's tough.
Here's a guy, though. Look at that 18 on the outside. This is the same thing they did last night. They say you can't learn anything by running in the Nationwide Series. He learned one thing. You can pass a lot of people on the high side.
3 wide for a moment. Jimmy Johnson forces the issue way on the bottom.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson was all the way down on the apron, which will help that car turn. It makes it hook.
If the car is tight, use the apron to make it turn.
And Carl Edwards suddenly finds himself 4th in the 99.
I actually think Carl was playing nice. You know, he gave a lot of room up there when he was racing with Ryan.
Jimmy Johnson trying to hold 3rd as Edwards fights back on the outside, and Mark Martin makes it a 5-car battle for the front spot. Right front looked a little soft. Maybe it should.
It's hard to tell right now, but they are definitely catching him. Look at these two side by side behind him.
Boy, I don't know, Larry. It's hard to say. It's not, it may be going down, but it's not down.
No, that right front's rolling over all the way to the yellow letters.
God, if it's me, you got to be sure, man. You can't take a chance.
Oh, Junior's there on the outside, and Busch is there on the inside.
When you get this late in a race, you always hear things. You always
look at him right here, though. 3 wide off turn 2.
That can't work, but it did.
And Dale Earnhardt Jr. comes out with the lead. They'll be coming to 17 laps to go.
That's the way to do it, baby. That's the way to do it. Come on, stay focused. 17 to go. You're the man.
Was a power move.
Get it. It's there.
Well, as he came off 4, we saw some big flames out the tailpipes that you wouldn't see when he's hard on the gas like that.
That tells me he swapped ignitions right at that point and made the fire. When he went from one to the other, it kind of backfired out the tailpipe. But the other thing is,
they're down to 12.
But I mean, while that's going on with this 18 car, look at these cars stacking up behind him. We're riding with Jimmy Johnson, goes to the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to take the position away from Kurt Busch in the 2 car.
He may come all the way to 2nd here. Steve for an update.
Mike, listening to Kyle Busch, he thinks it's an alternator problem. He says the volts are down to 12.
And what that's going to mean, he will have to start cutting some of the stuff off, mainly things that are comfort for him. That's the first thing you have to cut off.
Yeah, that cool box with the carbon monoxide filter in it. But let me tell you something. He might think he's got a problem because I don't think he's been passed very much this year. So he might just be imagining a problem. Whoa, and look at his brother get up under him. Whoa. You know that 2 car is licking his chops. I'm finally going to get up here and get after my little brother.
As we watch Kurt Busch in the 2 car, remember, finished 2nd in the Daytona 500. He has not even had a top 10 finish since that finish in the opening race.
Dick Bertrand.
Kurt Busch started in the 8th position, Mike, and has steadily worked his way forward. He had gotten as far as the 3rd spot when suddenly he hit the radio and told the crew that the car had gotten tight. In about 12 laps, he is going to make a pit stop, and they're going to try to take that tight out of there. He's got a good car tonight.
Dick Berggren in the garage with Jimmy Johnson.
With victory in sight, you guys just don't have engine problems. Did the gauges tell you anything?
Nah, even when I was down a cylinder and running around before it really blew up, yeah, all the gauges looked fine, so I'm not sure what went on, but I can't say I'm very proud of all the hard work this race team has put into this whole season. It hasn't been the season that we wanted, but I think tonight really showed that we're making a lot of gains on these big tracks. So very proud of everyone at Hendrick Motorsports, especially on this Lowe's team. We've got some good Impalas, and we're ready for these guys.
Indeed, they did have this car up front tonight, Mike.
Thanks, Dick. Battle for the lead. Casey Kane inside of Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch in the 18 car, he'll run the high side. Right now, that 9 car, he's pretty strong on the bottom side of the racetrack. He should be able to slide up in front of Kyle Busch here with 39 laps to go.
He's strong everywhere. He's run the bottom. He's run the top. That car is really, really working for him.
Through the tunnel turn.
Just really, really going easy on that throttle right there. And that's just a fact. It's just no grip. You've got to just lay the gas down on the bottom. But, you know, a couple guys have done that with the 01. I'm not sure Regan Smith is hailing right now because that's the second time he's been passed down there.
But you see him come back to the inside. That's almost a Tony Stewart slide move right there. And you heard guys, here they are 3 wide.
And Allmendinger doesn't care where they're running because he's going to go somewhere else.
He's going to go. But he caught him, like you said. Maybe the 01 checks up a little bit. Tony drives down in there.
Oh, hang on, AJ.
That was almost the wrong kind of slide move.
And I think we're going to see a lot of that today.
Casey Kane was starting to doubt the team. And I think when it all came together and they won the All-Star race, all of a sudden they realized, you know what? It's the same driver and the same team that won those 6 races in 2006. This battle right here, it's going to get interesting. Remember, that's 5 more points for Jeff Burton in that 31.
Maybe.
You heard Junior checked up a little bit, and you saw him wiggle a little bit, but he just gave him...
Oh, and he's going to go right back down underneath him and get Burton a little bit loose. Hand this thing over right now.
Yeah, that's more than 3 points. That's 5, I think.
Good job.
And not run it all the way down to 4 or 5 laps to go. And then you see a guy like Reagan run it down to 6 laps to go before he makes his stop and go.
There's you see McMurray. He's backing way off. It looked like he was backing way off.
Both of those guys are trying to. Well, they're trying to back off and not give up position.
Yeah, it's like, I want to race you, but I'm going to let off at the start-finish line,
That's
so don't
for
pass
the lead.
me.
That's for the lead. That's Jamie McMurray in the 26 and Earnhardt Jr. for the lead with 6 to go.
Aren't you better off just you guys hook up and just draft a little bit and save gas?
Instead of running side by side, but this is for the lead, almost 2 seconds off the pace. You know what I mean? That's the best part about it. You've got guys out there that are running a second or more, a second and a half faster than these guys.
But here's the thing, McMurray stopped 7 laps later than Earnhardt Jr. So McMurray should be in good shape.
If McMurray stopped 7 laps later, he should be running the wheels off of it right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Junior's doing the right thing by laying in behind him and trying to save as much as possible.
So much for that.
So much for saving.
Every time he pulls out, his fuel mileage just goes down when he pulls side by side like that. These guys are racing.
It's like having a gauge and just watching fuel flow. When you mash that accelerator, fuel flow goes up. When fuel flow goes up, it's got to come from somewhere, and it's coming from that tank. And if you're trying to save it, this is no way to save it by leading.
Marty, get in here quick.
Well, Dale Jr. didn't know if he was supposed to race McMurray. He thought he was supposed to be racing Casey Kane. So when McMurray went around him, he goes, is he now the leader? You got to tell me that. I didn't know he was the leader. So then he started racing McMurray, was able to get back around him. Or not so quick here.
No, and McMurray has got to race the wheels off of Earnhardt because he doesn't know if Junior can make it on fuel or not. So he can't gamble. If he's got a little bit more fuel, he's got to go.
Okay, update on the 24, Matt.
Bill, Jeff Gordon is trying to hold on right now. His car just so free on entry and exit. Steve Letarte told him, now we've got shade moving in. Hopefully that will help give you a little more grip. until we make our stop, Marty.
That his teammate Jimmy Johnson looks underneath him for that second position. We haven't talked a whole lot about Jimmy Johnson today as he slides up into his teammate there. Jimmy's car has been very good. He's been making his way through the field, but it's been tight for most of the afternoon. This is a great battle between teammates and friends, Bill.
And as we watch that, Marty, can you tell us a little bit about Mears and their strategy?
Yeah, real quick. They're going to be about 3 laps short on fuel, but Alan Gustafson thinks they're going to get some caution flags. They're going to stay out. Real quick, Kurt Busch, 2 laps short. They're going to go forward as well.
We're going to see how good of friends they are right here.
Yeah, I was going to say. They're racing each other pretty hard.
Because that 48 stood in the gas and just drove all over Jeff a minute ago. Jeff's going to stick it back up in there on him right here.
Rick Hendrick loves these moments.
I mean, Jeff raced him pretty clean, and the 48 just jumped in the gas and just drove over the side of him.
Well, you're going to get to the point where if you're side by side like this lap after lap, you're going to start driving in harder and harder into the corner, and the guy that drives in the bottom is going to wind up in the door of the guy on the outside, just because when you race side by side for 2 or 3 laps, you're trying to make something happen.
And while all this was going on, the 20 car disappeared into the sunset, and everybody behind them caught up to these 2 guys. Now you see the 11 car driving up under the 24.
Lindsay?
Well, Denny Hamlin right now, they pitted on lap 205. Remember, they took 4 tires. I talked to crew chief Mike Ford this morning. He said last year, that's exactly what they did. Then they ended up coming in on lap 45, and they took 2. That's what won them the race. So it'll be interesting to see. Right now, he says they will be forced to probably pit with 9 laps. They're going to be 9 laps short, but he would like to bring it in 270, 275, Bill.
Thanks, Lindsay. I do want to point out that Casey Kane has fallen out of the top 12. Currently 13th, 3 points behind Matt Kenseth in driver points.
Man, Gordon is just not giving in.
No. When he's on that outside, just like he was with the 48, he's got just enough grip and just enough turn. And you see this 07 just get loose under acceleration up off the corner and wiggle up into him.
Is this the patience thing you were talking about?
Yeah, that's it's out the window now. Now you got these guys have closed up.
I know the fans at home get tired of hearing it, but it's really important with these cars as we see Carl's got position right here almost. Yeah.
For the lead.
This is tough right here when you're down on the bottom like that and you drive it in. It's so easy to slide up into the car that you're trying to pass.
Couldn't do it.
TiVo this if you're at home. This may be the only time you see the 18 passed all year. But the thing is, these cars don't have a lot of downforce, so they need all the air they can get. You see him ease up on the 18, and the 18 kind of skates off, but he can't do anything with it.
But another thing is, too, you got him a little bit loose there, Kyle, but these cars recover so much better when you get them a little bit loose because they got so much more rear. That wing does help.
That wing helps a ton, and they've got those little plates on it that give you that side bite that you need, that little bit of side force. You know, in the pre-race, we heard Buddy Baker talk about the wing car and how it gave him that little bit extra. It felt like the tail of a plane. And that's what these things do. They give you that tail section to give you that little bit. Ooh, we saw that. Oh, man, Carl's driving that thing right there. He's a little bit sideways. But it gives you that little bit of side force.
Jeff Gordon, Denny Hamlin, Tony Stewart is there. Boy, how quickly things can change to 24-11, having miserable finishes at Michigan a week ago. Jeff Gordon finishing 42nd. Denny Hamlin so frustrated, and they roar back here at Bristol, both running in the top 5.
We can see Jeff Gordon move up the racetrack. Denny Hamlin's trying to make his car stick down on the inside. This has been a tough pass for everybody all night, but Denny's been able to make this work coming up through the field to get himself up to 4th spot.
See Tony being real patient behind these guys. Also saw some smoke from underneath the 20 getting in the corner. That's that splitter hitting the ground. And these guys running these fast lap times with good tires. You'll see that.
While these 3 battle here side by side or down, that's allowing the front 2 to get away a little bit. Now Hamlin gets enough grip to pull up alongside the 24 car. Can he get by, though?
Yeah, he made a really good run off of that corner just a minute ago. It looked like his car's really fast. That's exactly what happened a while ago.
That's the same thing we saw a while ago. These guys just by inches. Whoa, and you see the 20 car going up the racetrack.
And Jeff Gordon is almost sideways again behind the 20 car. He gathers it back up.
Kyle Busch just gets such a good bite off the corner. That's why Carl hasn't been able to pass him on the high side either, is because Kyle can get that run off the corner and just clear him as they get up on the straightaway.
Uh-oh, Kyle. It's just a little out of shape off too.
See the back end of the 18 kick out.
Okay, he got into
him, moved him out of the way. Just got the lead.
Here comes Kyle back at him again. He's going to get to him.
Yeah, gave him a little shove.
The bump and run, the Bristol move.
Here comes Denny Hamlin right there, too.
Denny Hamlin said, my turn to play. I got a bumper, too.
Jeff Gordon's not far behind. You can see him lurking back there just behind these guys. Great racing, though. Denny Hamlin was able to take that top side. It'll be interesting to see if he can complete that pass and go up there with Carl. He's got a really strong car. He gets off of that second corner really good.
We've never seen all night long Kyle Busch be in this position where he didn't have that clean air and the racetrack, the whole racetrack to use. These guys took it away from him, and now he's got some work to do if he's going to win this race. This track's pretty rough. It's not as smooth as it looks, and when these cars go in the corner, that splitter can rub, and you'll see a haze of smoke come out from like the middle of the car. And I don't know how many times with these new cars that's gotten me. I think something's wrong. You see that smoke coming out of there. You never want to see smoke, but if you kind of know what it is, it doesn't bother you.
I think you might have picked a pretty good sleeper there, Andy. Brian Vickers looks awful racy right here at the start.
I think when his track gets slicker, he's going to look better yet because he's going to move up to the top. He's one of those guys that can really get it done up there, and every time we say it, they run right below the white line. But I think later on in the race, you'll see Vickers up there. Mike?
Well, you see the 1 in the screen of Martin Truex Jr. This is the final week for the suspension for Kevin Mannion. And, well, believe me, the interim crew chief, Mike Ricci, wants to go out with a very positive note. He says that this is a pretty good opportunity. They went to work on the car throughout practice. Didn't start off all that good. They made a lot of changes, but he said on the upside, the car responded very positively to every change, and he feels like they could have a pretty solid run today.
They were 3 wide a moment ago, Mike, and they were about to be side by side bouncing off. Somebody put a burr under Rudiman's saddle. Look at that 44 car.
Yeah, I was in the UPS suite earlier talking to some people, and they said that Rudiman had been there, and I said, well, what did he say about his car? And he said, well, yesterday it was horrible, so they changed everything on it. Well, it looks like whatever they changed was the right stuff.
They did. They made the right adjustments on this thing. But he almost moved up right in front of Truex. He didn't see him sneak up on the outside.
And that's so hard for the spotter to see all the way back there and to let him know that, too.
Yeah, this is 5th, 6th, and 7th. By the way, Jeff Gordon is in 4th position after qualifying 3rd.
Here we go, 3 wide.
Oh, here we go.
Here's the 6th in the 07.
Yeah, this is chase contenders here. This is very important. The 07 Clint Boyer is 12th in the chase. The 6 is trying to get in. He's 11 points back.
You're going to see these guys driving just as hard as those guys racing for the win.
All kinds of things happening.
Yeah, the Montoya almost got into the side of the Earnhardt Jr., and there's Burton back there trying to find a way between Montoya and Earnhardt.
Whoa. Dave Blaney down the apron making a pass of Michael Waltrip.
Riding with Jeff Gordon right here. A.J. Allmendinger on the outside.
I said it'd be interesting to see how Allmendinger and his crew could keep up with the racetrack starting up front. They're still in 17th. It's been a good, solid night. Not exactly what they were looking for, but another good run. You see his teammate Brian Vickers going to the low side here. Look at, saw the 12 car. He had all 4 tires down on the apron there.
Yeah, he was headed to San Diego. He was almost on the grass. Now he pulls up right beside the 6. 29 and 99, Harvick and Edwards for 4th position.
These guys have been solid all night. You see Carl's car dancing a little bit there.
Here comes Harvick. He got a good run there. Good bite off the corner.
Kenseth coming in. There's the 17 car.
Carl really struggling this run.
And he seemed to struggle on new tires right after the restart. His car seems to be better after they run a little while. It's like Matt let him in down on the bottom so he could try to get by the 2, but he's struggling right there in the center. You saw he couldn't get back to the throttle, and here goes Matt on the inside of the 99 of Carl Edwards.
You got 2 car, by the way. Kurt Busch is 2 laps down, and you saw the 26 of McMurray. He is a lap down in 24th position. Teammates, again, battling side by side.
Kevin Harvick just drove away from these guys. In 4th spot, letting these guys fight over 5th.
We see Casey had just made the pass on him.
Out of control. Still beats him to the line.
And got the spot back. How about that?
Lead's heating up right here.
Hey, Andy, it's just like this. If the
Guy goes across the pit wall, and he actually sees that tire down, you can get away with getting the rights, just like you used to do the rear. When you identify, hey, this tire's flat, hey, we just get the right sides.
We are told, Dave, it was the right rear?
That's correct, Doc. I'm showing you the left rear right there, but just over to the right of it is the right rear. That's the one where they had an issue with it, so it was definitely going down.
Yeah. I think it's just like Brewer said. The right rear tire changer saw it. They called 2 tires, and good call.
Little drama in the pits, drama on the racetrack. Denny Hamlin has gone by. Here comes Earnhardt Jr. like he shot out of a cannon and goes by Harvick and pulls right up on the back of the Toyota of Hamlin.
Yeah, I tell you what, Junior was talking about his car just won't go on the restarts. But, man, after he runs it, about 30 laps, you looked at it, Andy, and said it just takes off.
Yeah, but he's not good until they run about 30. Wow. He gave Hamlin a little shot right there.
Get out of my way.
Oh, look at that. He said, okay, we can play like that.
We can, but he can't afford to be getting in something like that. Junior's in the chase. Hamlin has to be careful with that.
That's true.
They are having a good race.
Yeah, we just heard NASCAR say, you guys take it easy up there. Let's have a good race. Dale thinks it's a good race.
That's perfect. That's what we want. That's what we expect to see here.
Denny Hamlin needed to finish 22nd or better now that he's led a lap here to get in the chase. And you guys are right, though. We can't afford to be doing a little pushing and shoving here as we are still inside of 100 laps into the race.
I don't believe he's going to be able to hold off Junior. I think Junior gets going so good on the top after they put some laps on these tires.
He carries so much momentum down the straightaway, getting off of these corners so fast. Just unbelievable. He's using up more racetrack, but, man, he is fast. See Harvick get up there behind him now.
We heard him say that on new tires, that splitter keeps hitting the ground and really holds Junior up. And you probably wonder why you would do that.
Why don't we update where those 12 potential championship chasers are and some of their closest pursuers in this race right now, starting with leader Kevin Harvick. Mike, what are they saying?
Well, real happy with the race car, and especially considering the way practice went for them the other day. Todd Berrier, the crew chief, told me they really struggled during that 2 hours. They had a brake problem and didn't really diagnose it until practice was over. They realized they had made a mistake. They changed their brake system, and it really seems like that was obviously the right thing to do. They're real happy with their race car right now, Shannon.
Yeah, right now Dale Earnhardt Jr. saying he has a little chatter in the left front on that car. He says he still needs work on the exit of those turns. Now, for the past couple weeks, Tony Eury Jr. had been going with a different setup on these cars, but for this race, as Dale Jr. is battling Kevin Harvick for the lead right there, and Dale Jr. takes the lead from Kevin Harvick. For this race, they decided to go back to the setup that they ran here in Richmond. Not that they've completely given up on going a different way, but Tony Eury Jr. said we just need to work on that other setup a little bit more. Mike.
Well, Shannon, I caught up with Kyle Busch's crew chief, Steve Addington, this morning, and I asked him, what do you remember most from the spring race? He just kind of laughed, and he said, that's the day that Kyle became the most hated man in NASCAR. We laughed about it a little bit, but he did say there was a positive. He said that really fired him up, it fired this team up, and they come back here to Richmond looking for atonement, Shannon.
He said it takes Tony's car a few laps to come in. Looks like it might be just the right amount. He's got coming to the line. He'll have 11 laps to go.
Well, Stewart or Johnson is going to have to figure out some way to try to battle this 20 because Stewart's definitely got the best car.
Yeah, he's down on the inside now, but Jimmy Johnson had that high line going to where he could keep some momentum off the corner.
Tony said this is without a doubt his favorite racetrack.
Watch Tony down the bottom of the racetrack.
He gets a really big run off the bottom.
Man, his car turns that center really good.
They gave him 10 to go that time by. Side by side, it's why they love coming to Richmond. Short track racing on a Sunday afternoon. Tony Stewart trying to go to victory lane for the first time in 39 races.
The longer that Johnson can hold this 20 car on the bottom like that, the harder it's going to be on Tony Stewart's tires. Tony knows that. He wants to find just if he can get a quarter of an inch, he's going to take that spot. He's going to wait to hear clear from his spotter.
Yeah, Tony looked like he got into the corner a little bit hard right there. You can see the car bounce around a little bit. Got a good run up off, but Jimmy Johnson's carrying a lot of momentum off of that high side.
And what a great race this is.
Two former two-time Cup champions going at it. Looking over at Johnson, looking back at Stewart. Stewart gets a good grip coming up out of turn 4, but Jimmy Johnson has the advantage up high.
Yeah, Stewart led the last lap by all of that happening. Jimmy Johnson came back and led that lap.
Look at Tony Stewart just jamming that throttle back in, hoping it'll stick on the bottom of the racetrack, and Jimmy not going to give him that middle groove.
See Jimmy really take the car and let it roll fast. Tony got out of the throttle a little bit and back to the throttle a little bit sooner. Back to the throttle fast. Jimmy Johnson led that lap once again at the line.
They can do this all the way to the finish right here.
Yeah, Denny Hamlin's back in third, but I don't think that he can get there. He's about 2 seconds behind these guys.
Stewart's got him by a bumper coming up the backstretch.
Well, he got a nice run off of there. You see Jimmy really letting his car roll. He may be heating his tires up a little bit, trying to get down in the corner a little bit hard, ain't he?
Well, he's only got 6 laps to go, so I guess just might as well use them up here.
This is where Stewart has been the best, coming off of turn 2. That's where he was able to pull up alongside the 48 a moment ago and get him by half a car length. Now he can't do it as Johnson pulls him by a car length.
This time, nice line.
How hungry do you think Tony Stewart is?
Yeah, we know how much this guy likes to win.
How clean is he going to race Jimmy if it comes down to the last lap?
Let's see, 39 races. Watkins Glen, August 2007. That's over a year.
That's a long time for Tony Stewart. Jimmy is not going to give it to him, but he wants these 10 points real bad.
Now, you know, Jimmy wasn't running that high before Tony caught him, so he kind of forced his hand to go up there when Tony got to the inside of him, and it's actually been faster for Jimmy.
5 to go.
These guys are actually running lap times just about as fast as the third place car running when they're running side by side, and Denny Hamlin's all by himself back there.
I know we talked a lot about the chase. Clint Boyer's in good shape. He's kind of set in right there right now. If nothing happens, he's going to be the driver that's going to make the chase. But these guys are having a great battle for the lead.
3 to go this time by.
Tony actually moved up across. Tony had moved all the way up across the racetrack into the upper groove that time coming out of forward. It didn't gain him anything. If anything, he lost a few car lengths.
A couple of times Tony really forced Jimmy to get up higher and higher in the center of the corner, and he's really making this work.
Clear by 1, 2 to go.
As much as Tony wants to win, this is 10 more points that Jimmy Johnson's going to be closer to the lead.
I'm so impressed with Jimmy Johnson because he was really big. That 20 car had caught him and was going to pass him. He moved up a groove and found a way to make his car faster.
White flag this time. Clear by 1.
Jimmy Johnson has won twice and had 4 top 10 finishes in the last 6 races. Talk about momentum and how important it is heading into the chase. He dominates at California a week ago. He won both events at Richmond in 2007, was disappointed about what happened here in May. But on a Sunday afternoon in September, Jimmy Johnson comes down and wins it at Richmond. Jeff Gordon, the 24 car, trying to take the 8th spot away. He does.
Harvick got the wall just a little bit off the corner.
Yeah, those two have been battling, but here comes Tony Stewart on the inside of Kevin Harvick to take that spot away with those 2 right side tires. He's making the most of that pit stop and that decision that they made right there. I believe that's going to be very beneficial to their championship hopes by making that decision and working together.
They've really made a nice recovery from early in the race when they had to serve a penalty and start in the rear.
See Tony a little loose there, though. He's trying to pass Gordon. He got a little bit loose. Gave Harvick a chance to get back to his bumper.
This is 8th, 9th, and 10th. Gordon is 8th. Stewart 9th and Harvick 10th.
Tony get back to the gas, trying to get that edge on Jeff Gordon as he get up off the corner. Couldn't quite make the pass there. He'll go down the backstretch and he'll try it again in turn 3, but it's awfully difficult when you're on that bottom and that top car has some momentum to be able to stay in the throttle and make the pass. Great battle going on here.
Like Jeff finally gets the better of this battle.
Yeah, Tony had to fall back in line once again. He has to be careful because he doesn't want to lose that spot that he just made up with Harvick.
Jeff goes way up the racetrack here, though.
Tony trying to get that spot by. Look at Jeff Gordon just pulls him on the straightaway. Dale Earnhardt Jr. trying to put some pressure and putting pressure on Jeff Burton, the 31 car, for 4th position.
Yeah, Tony Stewart's able to make the pass out of turn 4 there and get in front of Jeff Gordon. Junior's putting a lot of pressure on Jeff Burton right now. He knows every spot and every point that he could get right here means a lot in this battle for the championship.
He's got position on him getting into 3.
He's able to make that pass. We see on the left of your screen there, Kevin Harvick trying to take the spot away from Jeff Gordon.
And Burton trying to come back there, rub a little bit, coming up off the corner, the 31 and the 88. Both slipping a little bit. And Burton tries to take that spot
got
back.
Loose there. Wow. Burton got a little bit loose, got into the 88.
Yeah, Burton, he's fighting hard right here.
This is 4th, 5th, and 6th, by the way, is the one car of Martin Truex. And now he will go underneath his former teammate, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Jimmy Johnson right in front of Carl Edwards, and here goes Biffle on the high side of both of them.
Here we go. We're clearing all this lap traffic, and they're almost 3 wide coming off turn 2.
Oh, yeah. All right, Andy.
I picked Biffle on that restart. Yeah. I'm telling you, he's been sitting around here riding around looking at his watch. It's not time to go, and I think he's looked at it and said it might be time.
Yeah, he said that car was bad fast in the countdown show. Carl Edwards got a fast car, too.
Kenseth's back there saying, don't forget about me, boys.
And remember, Rusty Wallace said, finally, these guys all are on an even playing field. 4 tires, fresh tires, and get what you can get.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson sitting there saying, these Roush cars are ganged up on me here. What am I going to do?
Speaking of ganging up, look here.
They're everywhere. Inside, outside, and in my mirror.
3 wide.
Oh, wow. Biffle takes the lead.
I told you, you've been watching. Look at that wristwatch.
That's good stuff there.
It's time to go.
There have been 9 leaders, 12 different lead changes, and right now Matt Kenseth has led the most laps.
It doesn't get any better than that, guys.
Dave?
And this charge is good news for Biffle. Remember, crew chief Greg Irwin said, I hope we don't adjust too far. And that was their big discussion before that pit stop. 1 round of wedge didn't seem like enough to the driver. 2 seemed like too many to the crew chief. So they settled on 1.5, and it looks like Biffle's car may be just about right.
Yeah, you got to believe Greg Biffle learned something from that previous run. He ran the tires off of his car. He settled back. He let Matt Kenseth go by him on this run early, and now he's able to come on to the outside of. He's going to take the 2nd spot here from Matt Kenseth.
He gives a little nudge to Carl Edwards.
Yep. Hello, my name is Greg, and
here I go. Yeah, to the outside. Yeah, he's got that now. He's got a run on him. Is Carl going to cut him off?
He did. Yeah. He took that lane away. Whoa. That was risky. I don't think he'd have done that if it hadn't been his teammate.
You see Carl move up, and the guys lose that air on the front end, and they have to back out just a little bit.
And here comes Matt
coming back.
Kenseth back on the inside. Gets his able to nudge his way on the bottom of the racetrack. 23 laps to go. Who's going to be the last?
Here we go. Matt Kenseth takes the lead. You know, I thought it couldn't get any better than it did a while ago, but it just did.
Yeah, Biffle got to the back of Carl's car there as Carl was trying to block him and got him loose. Now he's lost both of those spots. I think that 2 tires hurt him.
Jack Roush saying, just don't wreck each other.
He trusts these guys.
Tell you what, guys, there's no doubt. You just hit the nail on the head there, DJ. I think that the 4 tires now are starting to overhaul Carl Edwards. He's starting to pay the price. You see Mark Martin coming in with those 4, 17 car, Kenseth in the 16 car, Biffle driving away from Edwards right now. So we come back next year, I think we should do 4 tires. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, I think you're right, Rusty. Yeah, he learned it the hard way sometimes, but he put up a gallant effort there.
You think Carl will make his point when the race is over?
Yeah, he will. I have a feeling that he will, yeah. And the thing that you had to look at
here,
back
boys.
then.
Here goes Biffle.
Biffle trying to take the lead here on the inside. But Carl was running against, when he changed 2 tires, he had guys that had older tires, and that's why it made that look pretty good. I know the lap times were still good, but you know, we can beat that around, but it definitely is going to cost him, I believe. Matt's a little loose.
Yeah, he spun those tires all the way down the straightaway. That could actually overheat that right rear of his car and give this advantage back to Biffle.
And up across the racetrack he goes. You just talked about it, and here goes Greg Biffle on the bottom. Can he hold it on the bottom of the racetrack? No.
That's right. Just be through and hold your ground. I lost this race for you. No worries. Ain't over. You're damn right it's not. You just keep racing, buddy. 22 to go.
Well, I love that attitude. That's Carl Edwards saying it's not over. He's not giving up by no means.
Yeah, he is not a quitter by any means.
No, he was just telling them that he lost because he got loose getting into the corner. He was trying to hold those guys behind him, but he was really there with it's not a fair fight with him having 2 tires.
Well, Biffle's just working the back bumper of this 17. I think he's got a better car. He's just trying to figure out where he can get a position. I think he needs to get up on the outside corner of the 17, but I don't know if Matt's going to give it to him.
It's going to be interesting. Matt makes such a wide entry into the corner. If you watch him every time, he's not necessarily running all that high, even though he's up this time. But he makes a wider entry into the corner, and that keeps Greg from getting to that spot on entry and carrying any speed to get up beside him.
Looks like Matt's content to give Greg the bottom of the racetrack. He's giving him the whole bottom lane right here.
Yeah, he knows how difficult it was for him to try to make the pass while they go on the bottom. He's pretty sure that his car is good enough to keep Biffle back there if he just doesn't let him get to that right rear quarter panel.
A week ago, we talked about how hungry Greg Biffle was, who had not won in 33 races. Now he won, and now it's his teammates' turn, possibly the 17 car of Matt Kenseth. 27 races, a winless streak back to Homestead in November a year ago.
Okay, it's 15 laps to go, and now it looks like Biffle's car starting to wiggle just a little bit in the back end. He's got to take care of that right rear.
Folks, you are watching live our Sprint Monster Moment of the day. This battle up front to see who can conquer the Monster Mile. Can Biffle get there? Can Kenseth hold him off? 15 laps to go.
Matt's got to be careful. He's spinning that right rear.
For more Monster Moments, check out NASCAR Sprint Cup Mobile.
There he goes. You can see Matt working that steering wheel. Biffle wants to get there. Oh, yeah, he's there. He said, okay, he's letting him know now. I'm right there. These guys continue to race hard side by side. Okay, Greg sees this lap traffic up ahead, and he's probably trying to plan ahead for that. And if he can get in the right spot when they catch this traffic, this could be an advantage for, well, one or the other. You don't know which one's going to get it here.
Lots of traffic ahead. 10 car, Patrick Carpentier is up there.
This thing can still work out for Carl Edwards. He's sitting back in the catbird seat while these guys are going at it.
He's catching them a little bit right here.
Yeah.
His car's been the best on the long runs that we've seen most of the day. But traffic could play a big part of this. You see 6 cars up here in front of these guys.
Look at Carl all the way on the bottom of the racetrack, almost down on the apron.
Yeah, Matt's there trying to block Biffle, and they're using up more racetrack, which is slowing them down, and Carl's running around the bottom. He's got himself back here. Matt goes back to the bottom now that he had a little bit of cushion on Greg going into the third corner.
Yeah, look at that 99 car go through the middle of the corner, though. It's got a little extra speed right through there. Not as good, quite as good off the corner, but good through the middle.
Carpentier there in the 10 car. Here comes Biffle on the bottom.
He might trap him in here if the 10 car is going to stay high. That's going to take away Matt Kenseth where he had been running on the racetrack.
Boy, Matt did a great job right there getting clear off the corner.
Man, he had to keep his foot in the throttle there and just drive it off of that corner. Biffle back to his bumper here. Could get him really loose right now.
Matt has him by 5 feet at the start-finish line.
This is great racing right here.
Now they're too wide in front of them traffic-wise. They're going to move in on traffic side by side coming down the backstretch.
If Greg can keep side by side on this 17. See, Matt's just getting clear, and that's a big thing right there when they get to this traffic.
Here comes Carl Edwards. Whoa.
Where did he come from? On the bottom of the racetrack. He gets to the inside of Biffle, now goes after the 17.
Well, he could block him in behind the 28 car here. Biffle's going to try to make it run. This was his chance
this is
to
what
get the
Biffle's
outside.
looking for. He wants that outside lane.
Oh, he's going to try to. No, he didn't.
Matt gave him the outside.
Oh, wow, big touch.
Carl Edwards saying, watch these guys rub and bump, and I'm right here for the victory.
Biffle's got him now.
He's got him. This is what he was looking for.
Right here. That's the pass.
9 to go, 8 to go.
He made the pass last week in New Hampshire with 12 to go. He makes it with 9 laps to go here at Dover. There is Edwards moving in on the 48 of Jimmy Johnson.
Whoa. He's loose too, boy.
Yeah. And you see Scott Riggs right there, who just came back out on the racetrack. That means we have all 43 cars out there. Nobody's falling out of this race.
Carl Edwards erased a 4-second deficit to run down the leader. Carl has got one quick Ford.
Yeah, he's had pit road problems today as far as other cars getting into him. He's been at the back of the pack a number of times, and here he is battling to take the lead away from Jimmy Johnson.
Edwards has not led a single lap today. Remember, he came in as the...
anywhere near you, you're right on his cage.
Edwards came in as the points leader and now is being shown some 15 points behind Jimmy Johnson, but now he will retake the lead or try to take the lead. Johnson thus far has led the most laps 3 times for 67 total laps.
Well, Carl decided to go to the high side to try to make this pass and does make it now as he assumes the lead. Our chase drivers, we see this battle still ongoing. Jeff Gordon still has that 3rd spot. Greg Biffle in 4th.
Like Greg kind of laid back a little bit and kind of cool his tires off, make one final run at Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, Kenseth is in 5th, Harvick 6th, Jeff Burton 7th. Those all first 7 are chase guys, and then we have David Reagan, A.J. Allmendinger, and Elliott Sadler rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, Allmendinger could hold on to get his best career finish in a NASCAR Sprint Cup race if he can hold on to 9th spot. Carl getting there now. 2 to go.
Wow, made a big gain right there. That's huge. He might have found something when he got forced to that high side there a while ago.
He did find something. He was 0.4 of a second faster than Jimmy Johnson that last lap.
And you can see Jimmy Johnson take that away from him right there. Wow.
He's got a fight on his hands here this last lap.
We do. White flag.
Get you somebody. Let's go get it now.
That was big right there. Jimmy Johnson took that away. Carl Edwards was going to get to the outside of him and have a chance to make the pass. Still might
get him right here.
Here he comes, digging up off the corner. Turn 2, half a lap away from the checkered flag.
And what's Jimmy Johnson do here? He goes to that high side. Carl Edwards is going to go to the bottom. There we go.
Oh,
goes right by him. With a car stick. Here comes Jimmy Johnson. He's in the wall.
Can he get it off the wall?
We're back inside now.
Oh, wow.
Carl Edwards trying to hang on. Here comes Jimmy Johnson down, and Johnson will take the win.
Wow. How good is that? Wow.
That's a finish right there, boys.
And
Biffle gets the 24.
Biffle will get Jeff Gordon. Wow.
Dale Jr. currently running fourth. He keeps looking to the outside of that 99, wanting to join that Hendrick party in the top 3. This car has not been perfect for Dale Earnhardt Jr. He has been having some brake problems. He says that they come and they go, but most likely they go. He's still looking for his first win here at Martinsville, but he has been very strong at this track.
Up front, the 99 car of Edwards. You heard about how strong the car was getting, and he tries to move to the inside of the 24 car.
Looks like Gordon's struggling just a little bit, Dale.
Yeah, he's been, saw him sideways off the corners the last few laps, and so he'd fallen back. He'd got to Jimmy Johnson's bumper in this traffic, and then he's fallen back quite a bit, so it's like he's struggling.
Remember, we saw between lap 45 and 55 that some of these guys started having right front tire issues. We've now run 60 green flag laps, and probably some concern over what's going to happen with that heat in the right front tire.
Yeah, concern there is they're 3 wide is a concern, but yeah, I'm sure there is, Andy. This is getting about that point we've seen a lot of problems. Have to just work that throttle. Here we got 3 wide battle going by Kevin Harvick. Got Denny Hamlin on the top side, his teammate Kyle Busch in the middle, trying to make a pass there. They go by Harvick. Here comes Dale Jr. by Kevin Harvick. Harvick had one of the better cars in practice yesterday, but he's sliding back right now.
That is 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th on the screen. Shannon.
It's no surprise that Kevin Harvick was fast in practice. This is their go-to car. In 8 starts, this car has finished in the top 10 7 times. The team has turned back to it for this weekend. And before the race started, Kevin Harvick came over the radio and said, guys, I'm wearing my red shoes today. He's been wearing black shoes in the past couple races, just looking to get a jump start on his luck here today.
You drivers will try about anything to change your luck, won't you, Dale?
Yeah, pretty much anything. If we think it'll work, it'll make us better, we're all for it most of the time.
Kevin Harvick on the bottom of the racetrack, who was so good in both practice sessions here on Saturday.
We see Matt Kenseth closing in on Kurt Busch, trying to take that lead back.
Kenseth right now has led the most laps today. He's led 3 times for 97 laps, and now he will go all the way downstairs. If he can slide his Ford on the inside of the Dodge, not quite yet.
And momentum off of turn 2 kept the lead for Kurt Busch for the time being.
We still have 100 laps to go here. Plenty of time. This racetrack is going to go through a little bit of a transition because you do see all the shade on it. And somebody else might rise up here and have a pretty good setup for this cool racetrack.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of green flag racing, though, Andy, but they can't make it on one more stop from here. It's going to be close.
Going to be real close. I don't think they'll be able to do it. One thing is I don't think they want to stay out that long on tires.
Yeah. Great battle here.
Kurt Busch not willing to give that spot away. So it's been a while since I've been able to lead one of these under green. And although he did win in New Hampshire because of the rains coming with pit strategy, having the best run that the 2 cars had a month.
Dead heat at the start-finish line.
Matt Kenseth, one of 7 drivers who won a year ago, who has yet to win here in 2008.
This is great racing. These 2 guys shows you the 2 different lines you can get around here in the same amount of time. It looks like Matt Kenseth is going to finally. Nope, here comes Kurt back on the outside.
Denny Hamlin's kind of lurking back behind these guys, saying, you guys just keep racing. I'm making up a 10th or 2 a lap, and I'll be up there with
you. More on the 17 car. Shannon.
Just remember when they were back in 30th after that penalty.
And they were just some 90 points ahead. They had lost about 70 points because of going a lap down for a speeding on pit road penalty.
see that's his actual car owner, Jeff Gordon, who's right in front of him. How hard is he going to race him? Well, there's no match for those new tires.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how hard he races. He can't hold those new tires off.
Yeah, here's the 5th place car that he's going to go by before he gets to turn 1.
I don't think he's finished.
What a call by Chad Canals to bring him on pit road, put fresh Goodyears on, and everyone else is sitting duck out there.
That was a great call by Chad. He's going to get another spot before the end of this race. He's got Kyle Busch up ahead of him, and he's catching him pretty quick. Might even get more.
He might get more. Carl Edwards has jumped out to over a 1.5 second lead. That's why we're not showing you that. We're going to watch and see just how much Jimmy Johnson could get. This is just a remarkable comeback for these guys.
From 30th to a possible top 5 or better finish at Atlanta. That is a championship performance.
Well, David Reagan, another nice run. As you see splitting Jeff Gordon there, battling Jamie McMurray and also the 2-car, Kurt Busch.
Again, these are new tires on these cars. That's why you see Jeff Gordon slipping back. He doesn't have as fresh as the guys in front.
This is 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Kurt Busch is 6th. Here comes McMurray on the high side. Here comes David Reagan on the inside of him.
Here we go. Into the 4th spot here. 48 car, Jimmy Johnson. Just shows how good. These guys said that these tires were good for up to 10 laps, and that's all that they had. And what made this such a great call was it was a single file restart. Didn't have to deal with the lap cars.
We got a caution flag and a green, white, and checker. They may be in trouble with Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, he's still coming. He's maybe going to get another spot. He's got 3 laps to get it done. 2.5 laps.
Carl Edwards just hanging on for dear life out there with 3 laps to go.
2.
You know,
nice and smooth, buddy. Nice and smooth.
Here comes Jimmy Johnson for that 3rd spot with Matt Kenseth. You know, we heard Dave Burns ask Carl Edwards before the race about going out there and doing all you could do, and it might not be enough. And this is exactly what he's talking about, because this 48 team just makes something out of what could have been a disaster today, and he's going to gain very few points.
He's going to get another spot here. Denny Hamlin ahead of him. He's still got another lap.
How about that? He could end up finishing 2nd.
White flag. One more time. Bring it back here.
See Hamlin really fighting the steering wheel right there.
This is the final lap, so no chance of a green, white checker, but here comes Jimmy Johnson on Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, he gave him that outside. I was a little surprised there. If he makes that run, if we talk about this turn 4 pass, it's not going to be for the win this year, but it might be for 2nd spot. There's Carl Edwards.
Here's the battle for 2nd as they are in turn 3. Carl Edwards. Whoa, coming out of turn 4 cut. As the 48 makes the pass, and Carl Edwards will come down and win for the 7th time in 2008. And Jimmy Johnson finishes 2nd. This racetrack 3 wide, and Rudeman goes to the outside of the 42 car of Montoya.
These are some guys that have tires from that last caution.
Yeah,
trying to make the most of it.
You can see Jimmy Johnson on the bottom. He's worked his way up into the 8th spot now. Got in front of this group.
Sun has gone down, and this track has cooled off considerably with this progressive banking. We're seeing a lot more grip and a lot more aggressive driving, Dale.
Well, they've worked on their cars. They got better grip, and they're getting a lot more racy here. Last race of the season.
No need to save it now.
No next week. That's right.
See, the air temp's come down quite a bit. Actually, no, I guess it's gone up. Looks like the air temp has gone up since the race started. Track temp has come down. Whoa, got a little bumping going on.
Montoya had to crack the throttle right there. He was one of those cars that came in and got tires. In the 44, having quite the battle here. Casey Mears down on the inside in the 5 car.
More on Rudeman, Mike.
And you mentioned the track temperature, guys. That may be what's helping David Rudeman right now. It wasn't too long ago before the sun set. David described his car as evil loose, but it's tightened up a little bit here since the sun went down. The guy trying to chase him down, meanwhile, that's Juan Pablo Montoya. This race is starting to come to him. They knew coming into this race, long green flag runs are what they need. They said they would not be good on short runs, but they're banking on long green flag runs, and in that case, they will be good. A great side-by-side battle now.
Little fender rubbing again with the 44 and 42. Montoya inching to the high side to take that spot away.
Well, Montoya has those fresh tires. He's wanting to make some time while he can.